Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Ashe updated complete guide. And this one obviously is going to be a banger. You guys can see we got top better than 100% of Ashe. But of course, before we jump into any of the details, don't forget to take a look at Ashe's basic guide for some tips, tricks, as well as of course her skill sliding order and some combos. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump straight into the loadout, starting with the items. So a lot of the top Ashe players are actually going for Runans as first item. But before we get to that, obviously we want to get to boots. So boots are obviously standard ADC boots, the Gluttonous Greaves, AD, Omnivamp, yeah. So most people actually go for Runan's first item. And Runan's first item gives you, of course, 45% attack speed, gives you the 30 AD and the on-hit 15 damage, as well as, of course, splitting your shots into 3. Also, of course, it gives it scales off of your AD, which is why I think it's really bad as the first item, because you have no AD aside from the 30 AD you get from here, and of course the 35 from here as a first item. Now, you get less AD from Runans than you get from Gluttonous Greed, so I think that this is not a good first item. I think that better first item is going to be Bloodthirster. So Bloodthirster, of course, is going to give you 55 AD, the additional AD when you're above 50% health, your 15% attack speed, of course your physical vamp, and yeah, all the good stuff. So after that, then you can go for Runan's Hurricane. But remember that Runan's Hurricane is not a crit item anymore. So you go for Runan's Hurricane, you're actually delaying your crit, 100% crit. But Runan's Hurricane, really solid item on Ashe, and there's a reason why all the top Ashes are building Runan's Hurricane. As I described just now, all the effects, lovely stuff for Ashe. Obviously, IE next for increased damage, as well as, of course, more AD and crit. More reminder, of course, for the Armor Pen, the Grievous Wounds, as well as putting you to 75% crit. And then lastly, I like to go for Phantom Dancer, which gives me a lot of attack speed at the end. And, of course, the movement speed as well. Now, honestly, you don't really need that much attack speed by the time you get to your last item. So another option is actually going to be Shield Bow, which is a little bit more of a defensive option. So you can go for that. Now, the other option is to straight up just not go for 100% crit, go for 75% crit, and go for other defensive options like your GA, your Maw, your Sterex, or your Crown, depending on the game. That could be an option as well. So for the runes, Ashe has two options. Firstly, you have Lethal Tempo, which gives you, of course, the attack speed. But the other option you have is actually going to be Kraken Slayer. Now, I have to say that after testing both builds, I actually think that Kraken Slayer might be better, because now you're actually, it scales off of your bonus AD. You're actually getting a lot of bonus AD from your Bloodthirster, from your IE, and even you're getting a good amount from your Runans, your Maul Reminder, and your Gluttonous Greaves. So, honestly, I think Kraken Slayer might be better, because the attack speed that you actually get from your Q and your Runans is actually pretty decent already. So you may not actually even need Lethal Tempo. You could, of course, also go for Conqueror. But in this particular gameplay, I actually went for Lethal Tempo because I was trying to see how good it was, and I felt that I had a lot of attack speed, probably a little bit too much attack speed, which is why I think maybe Kraken or Conqueror might be a better option. So Brutal, of course, for the on-hit damage against champions. Giant Slayer, of course, is the best rune you can take in this slot, and of course Bloodline for even more Omnivamp. Of course, you could go for Alacrity in this slot in conjunction with a Lethal Tempo Keystone, which I think would work very well, and of course Bone Plating or Overgrowth for the defensive stats. So for the spells, you want to go for Flash, and you want to take Ghost as well. Of course, Ghost is going to allow you to not only chase people down, but also kite them out. And of course, sometimes you just need a straight up run. Ghost comes in real handy. But with all that out of the way, let's move on to talking about our gameplay. Okay, so let's hop into the gameplay now. As usual, of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will, of course, be sure to address them. So hopping straight into it, Ashe obviously is not one of the best ADCs, like by no stretch of the imagination, especially as a carry, not the best. Of course, a lot of utility, that's great, and all vision, you know, global stun, a lot of course, lovely stuff, the slows, you know, whatnot. But she does have particular lanes that she's really good into. Now let's take a look at this. So we're into Alistar, Tristana. Now look at what I'm doing here. I'm gonna be bullying them really hard so they can't play the game. So I'm gonna explain why I'm doing this in a while, but I just want to point out what I'm doing first so you guys can pay attention to that. Just look at me auto-attacking Alistar, auto-attacking the Tristana, auto-attacking the minions, launching my volley at them, and look at what's happening now. Now at all level 1, Tristanas have health, Alistar's half health. I've taken a little bit of damage, almost a third of my health, but that's fine. And now they're gonna, of course, pop the fruit. Tristana's taking all 3 fruits. And here we're now just zoning them off of the minions, and we're just attacking them down again with the volley, resetting the minion aggro, going in, seeing if we can get in any auto attacks. Not quite. But yeah, okay, so now I'm gonna go into why we're doing this. Basically, one of the biggest strength points of Ashe that a lot of people don't realize is her range. She has the second longest base range in the game, only second to Caitlyn. So Ashe actually has really good lane matchups. So the first good lane matchup is against engage support. So the main reason why she's really good into engage support is she's generally slightly out of the engage range, and they have to really commit to engage on her. And in the meantime, as you can see with this Alistar, we can poke him down. You can see here that he's going in for the engage now. Tristana gets bubbled, and he's taking a whole chunk of damage, and we only get the kill on him because of how we chunked him out earlier on, and now Tristana is forced to flash as well. So that's pretty much why Ashe is really good into engagers. You can chunk them out, and if they engage, they have to be very, very precise with both them and their ADC. Otherwise, pretty much this is just going to happen, which is he's just going to get taken down. Unfortunately, we had to flash for it, but you know, all the same, we still are able to take him down. So she's really good. Ashe is really good into, like, you know, the Alistars, the Leonas, and like all the other engaged supports. And even better is she's good against ADCs that don't have range. So champions like Tristana is probably the best example of this, because she doesn't really have good burst, she doesn't really have range. Other champions like, for example, Lucian does have a good burst, so he can trade back with you if he commits. So it's not really as good as Tristana, but really the most prime example is champions like Tristana, champions like Samira, for example. You can bully Samira you know, a lot. And of course, because of all that, Ashe becomes really good in these particular lanes. She in fact is even good against Caitlyn, and the main reason that's the case is because with Caitlyn, she only barely outranges you, so she can't really make take full advantage of the range she has, whereas with other ADCs she has a lot of range advantage, whereas with Ashe she doesn't. So you can see here, like, kind of Ashe's range coming into play against the Tristana as well as the Alistar, and we are pretty much just smacking them around in the lane at the current moment. So that's, you know, Ashe can be good in lane into certain lane matchups, and the main reason I picked Ashe in this game is because I knew my lane matchup was going to be against Tristana Alistar, so I chose to pick Ashe because I knew this was going to be a very good lane matchup for me, and I knew I was going to be able to bully them. And of course, we do expect to get ganked from Kayn, because Kayn has first strike, and he obviously wants to go to blue Kayn. Here Alistar gets comboed by Nami, and has to pop the ult to try to survive. So we're just trying to back off here, because we obviously won't do any real damage to Alistar while he's in the ult, and Tristana is able to hop away to safety, so she's not really in trouble. But yeah, pretty good start to the game. We haven't gone ganked by Kayn yet. Surprisingly, Kayn has been pretty intent on ganking the Lux instead, to try to get his form, and ends up dying instead. So here we're able to combo with the Nami CC, and we're able to attack Alistar and kill him, because obviously he doesn't have ult because he used it earlier. Tristana gets off a full bomb onto me, but ends up not really doing too much, because you can see here with the Vamp Scepter and the Gluttonous Greaves, we have, I believe at this point, like 14% Omnivamp or so, so we have a lot of healing. You can see we heal off the minions, and we're pretty much back to a healthy state. So now we're gonna back, you know, pick up the cloak. Main reason we're doing this is because there's not too much else to do in lane, and we could try to go all in on Tristana, but that's not very likely to work unless she is the one that overcommits. Launching the Hawk Shot to check the enemy jungle. Cam's obviously vacancy rate buff is down, so we know that Kane's likely not gonna be there. Here the wave crashes on the tower. We're able to pick up the whole wave and not actually lose out on anything. Dragon and Herald are both spawning, but it looks like Camille is recalling, so looks like we are not going to need to actually contest the dragon here, so we're going to just continue on pushing. Arrow is almost back up. Here a small bit of trading going on between the Nami and the Tristana. Here we're just going to remove that control ward. And here we make a mistake, which is we get caught out by the Alistar combo. Now Tristana's not there to quite follow up, but here with the bomb we're kind of caught out of position. We're going to have to flash the wall. And I tried to arrow the Tristana, but I was anticipating a sidestep, and she did not sidestep at all. So I ended up pretty much looking like an idiot, sending my arrow to the side when she pretty much was just walking straight. Anyways, here we're gonna go for the dragon. Kayn is looking to come in together with the cannon for the steal. Cannon goes in a little bit too early and ends up getting taken down by Set. Kayn does get the steal off, but we are able to get off a kill. And we pretty much just win the ensuing fight, even though we did get the dragon stolen, which in my opinion is not too bad. I would rather get the kills than get the dragon, because the kills are going to accelerate you a lot into the game, whereas the dragon is pretty much useless unless you get all three and get the dragon soul. And even so, the dragon soul is not that impactful compared to triple dragon previously. Now we have like a 4-man sharing of tower plates here. Nami walks away and Lux recalls, so me and Camille are trying our best to finish off the last part of the tower. And ends up being now a 2-man share, which is a lot more reasonable. 4-man share of the tower plates means you get basically nothing. And now we are able to just back and complete the Bloodthirster, as well as start building toward the Rune's Hurricane, starting off with the dagger. So here, Rift Herald is coming straight down on mid. I'm just gonna launch my arrow here, stun up the cannon for a full couple of seconds, and they finish off the kill, of course. Took some time because Lux kind of ran out of spells. But here, our tower is obviously going to get attacked in the top lane. We want to rotate back over to stop Tristana from getting any free plates. She does actually get, I think, 2 plates here, which is, of course, nice for her. Checking the bush for Alistar with the Hawk Shot. Of course, we don't want to walk up from the minions and just get comboed by Alistar. That wouldn't be nice. Here, Camille goes in on the Alistar for some reason. Here, I'm just focusing on the Tristana. Tristana nowhere to go, ends up having to hop over towards my tower, and we end up taking another free kill onto her. Now with the ghost reset, we're just running over to mid lane, helping out to secure the skull crab, and now we're just gonna go mid lane and see if we can pick up mid lane tower. Now Cannon runs face first into the Lux root, gets basically just one shot by Lux, and we're gonna take the mid lane tower as well, just to rub salt in the wound for the enemy team. So here we're doing pretty well, 4-0-4. Our team is doing pretty well as well. You can see that Camille 6 assists, Set's doing pretty okay, Nami as well, and Lux is really fed 6-1-3 at the moment. So the game is firmly in our favor. We actually have a 6k goal lead at 8 minutes, which is of course what you love to see. And here once again we're rotating back up to top to catch this huge wave and also prevent our tower from being taken down. Of course, protecting this tower is not really the biggest priority in the world. Losing this tower is not too bad. Here we actually spot Alistar going for the ward. So here we're actually gonna force him to use either his ult or his flash here, because he's gonna get run down by Ashe if that's not gonna happen, because Ashe has the slows. And because of the slows, pretty much he'll not be able to escape, and he chooses to flash here. Here ends up being a fight between the 3 of us. I'm gonna just ult the Tristana and get rid of her first, and then move on to the cannon. Cannon goes down. Alistar had already died previously, and ends up being a really beautiful fight for us. So a really important thing was that we didn't overcommit to the Alistar before that fight, because if we overcommitted with our summoner spells or anything like that, or with our ulti, we probably would have been actually baited into a bad fight against Tristana and Cannon there, which would not have been good for us at all. So here now 6:05 with our Rune's Hurricane completed. We're going to hit back up to the top lane to once again catch this huge wave, and of course just get the gold. Also, I'm rocking the ranked reward Ashe skin, which I actually just got a couple of matches before this. Kayn tries to come in for the assassination behind, but he doesn't seem to be doing all that much damage. We do survive, and we actually try to flash to pick up the kill onto him, but turns out actually Lux was there, which I actually didn't notice, and I wouldn't have flashed while I was distracted by getting assassinated by Kayn. So here once again I whiff another arrow. Now Ashe arrow, it could say it's not that hard to hit, but it is not that hard to miss either. So here Alistar is running the wrong way. YouTube, Panda Q, unfortunately has to run toward our tower and really leaves him with nowhere to go, and does end up going down to us eventually. So we're racking up the kills now. Pretty much at this point it's a competition between me and Lux as to who can carry harder, and Lux is kind of winning at the moment. More gold, more items, more kills. Here we're venturing into the enemy jungle, once again just walking away from Cannon ulti to make sure we don't get destroyed by him, and slowing down the enemy champions for our team to kill them. Here Tristana stuck under the tower, Set finishes her off, and we're able to finish off the tower as well. We spot Alistar in his ult for some reason coming out of base. So we do know that his ult is down at this point. On our way out, we're just going to deny the enemy champion of all enemy team of all of their jungle camps, and also just pick up this Ice Drake on our way out. So here, of course, this means that no team is actually going to get sold, so Last Dragon becomes really not that important. And we're going to just build towards IE now. And here we're just, every time we leave the base, it's really good to pop those plants to check if there's any enemy vision in the jungle. So here, I'm now just going to move on to farming our raptors here. And here we don't really know where the enemy team is, so here I'm just sending out the hawkshot to check if there's anyone camping those bushes. To make sure that I'm safe when I'm farming. Here my team's getting caught out at the bottom lane, so I'm sending out the arrow to try to help. I end up hitting the Kayn, which does of course help Nami try to escape. Here unfortunately Nami does die on the tower, but Kayn is tanking the tower and does end up going down. Alistar now tanks the tower as well, no more ulti for him. And I am able to pick up the double while Tristana ends up resetting and going to the top lane. So here I'm just going to clear out the minions, and it's just going really, really well for us now. 9-0 and 9 now, really fed. IE now completed, of course, off of those kills. And we probably want to look to getting a boot enchant soon to get some protection, because obviously we're now really fed in terms of damage, in terms of our build. 3 items in already. Now I'm just going to pick up this, this red buff. Of course, really good to combo the red buff slow with our passive slow. Here a fight is breaking out at the bottom lane, and I'm slowly making my way there by the safe way, sending the arrow in, once again kind of slightly missing, not really the best aiming of the arrow in this particular match. Kayn comes in from the side, gets one tapped by Lux, and here we're just trying to hit targets. We're trying to focus the Aatrox down to kill him, but the lifesteal coming in from Aatrox is pretty insane, trying to focus down Tristana now. For some reason Kennen barely does any damage with his ulti, most likely because of his build. He actually has the Oceanid's Trident as his first item, probably to counter Lux and Set, which is a pretty good item pickup, but probably not first item, because he's really lacking in damage because he chose to go for that as his first item. Here Aatrox makes the mistake of trying to defend the tower, and if he does that, he's going to get slowed to oblivion by me, and of course my team is able to finish him off. Once again on the way out, being sure to deny the enemy team their jungle farm, and huge wave stacking up in mid lane. We're going to take care of that. In the meanwhile, somehow Kayn actually just goes in and assassinates 2 of my teammates, and Set is now going to be the 3rd victim. So I'm going to hit over with the ulti to try to stun him up and save the Set. But ends up kind of KSing him instead, which, hey, you know, another kill for me. Don't mind if I do. Now 12-0 and 11, you can really see why this is the top 100% of Ashe performance. We're keeping up our farm at all times, we're killing people at all times, and we're getting pretty high KP with that 12-0-11. Of course, only Nami is higher KP than us at the moment, and we are able to actually pick up the entire ball reminder just off of that one back, just off of the kills and the farm that we got. And here we're just going to refresh our blue buff, of course, because we spam a lot of W's and spam a lot of spells. Of course, getting the cooldown also really helpful. And now at this point we have a pretty dominant position. We are actually more than 10k gold up on the enemy team. And yeah, it's pretty drastic, the difference in power. Now we have ult ready, we have both sums ready, so we shouldn't be getting picked out anytime soon. And here we're just once again just going back to farming the minions. Checking for enemies. We can see Alistar is actually coming down. Not too worried about Alistar by himself. We're just going to finish off this tower. And finish off the Ghost Power as well. Now we're just going to deny enemy jungle farm. By taking their blue buff and their Grump. And yeah, Lux overextends all the way into the enemy base. Not quite sure what the plan was there. We're able to actually hit the ult onto Tristana here. And here Alistar tries to smack us away, but we're just going to walk back towards him and focus on the Tristana first. Get the kill onto the Tristana. Now we're going to focus Aatrox next. We're going to get him as well. And then we're going to get the Alistar whose ult just expired. Now here I was getting a little bit greedy because thinking this could be a pentakill. And I end up actually tanking some tower shots and getting stunned by the cannon, who finally is able to do some kind of damage to us and is able to pick up the kill. However, despite my death, my team is going to be able to finish out the game, close out the game. Really kind of needless death there. Greedy a little bit for the Penta, but you know, understandable in my opinion. Don't regret dying there at all. Still able to get you know, the S and better than 100% of Ashe in this particular game. Well, of course, as usual, I'm gonna leave you guys with the stats. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye